Hi guys, thanks for checking in. I'm Shannon if this is your first time visiting, and I've been a little MIA lately, transitioning into RV living, changing jobs, blah blah blah, has been busy. So I'm back to doing the videos. The focus is going to change a little bit because most of the building in Reno is done. I may go back to, I'm going to go back to doing some cooking videos and cooking on the run, cooking on the roll. But in the meantime, I wanted to give you a little update to living in an RV and give you a quick review of my little composting toilet here. Anyway, I went with the C-head, and I think I talked about it in one other videos. But anyway, so I wanted to give you a review after 3.5 months, almost 4 months of usage, and tell you what I think so far. So this was recommended to me by, I used to work on small cruise ships, and so consequently most of the people, or a lot of the people that work on small boats, also live on small boats and stuff. So and let's face it, an RV is just a small boat that doesn't float, right? So I put the feelers out, I got some opinions, and the C-head was what was recommended to me by my boat friends. Now, the logic behind it: 1, price was great; 2, looks pretty good, right? Takes up no more space than a small toilet. But the other thing that I really liked about it was it separates the liquids and the solids. So you're not getting the odor problem that you normally get. You don't have to worry about sloshing down the road if you have liquids in there when you're doing it, because it's all going into just a 1 gallon milk jug essentially. So it's pretty contained. And you know, boats move constantly. Even when you think they're not moving, try doing yoga on a boat deck, you'll find out that sucker's moving. So I say that because I used to teach yoga on the boat. So anyway, so I was like, well, that makes sense. I'll try the C-head. It's I think it's actually the label is actually C-head, like your head, or the head of a boat. You know, the bathroom is called a head. And but you can also look it up if you spell it S-E-A, head, which is how I found it originally, because it seemed the logical way to spell it to me. Anyway, so that comes up too. So if I remember correct, I got just the basic model. It has the angled side front, so it has a nice narrower footprint in the front. This is essentially just a regular toilet seat. I don't know what this is made out of, but this sucker, it's got some weight to it, so it's not just your general cheap plastic. And they have just screwed the lid on. I mean, it's attached just like anything to this. I guess it's a resin base, or it's a hardcore plastic base that they have just made a platform with a small hole in it, and put the toilet seat on top. There's a little piece of Velcro that they've put here, and this is pretty hardcore Velcro that the seat is attached to keep it solid. And then these hardcore hinges back here, what that is that, so just kind of snap that back down, is this whole thing lifts up. As you can see, this is the funnel for your liquids. It has a piece of foam here that's sealed in, and then your back for your dry waste is it's real sexy. It's just a 5 gallon bucket. So the way this works, sorry, I just put a new cedar in it, so it's a little dusty. But anyway, so to get to the insides, I just leave this on and just lift the whole thing back. Now you want to make sure, because all that's holding this together is the hinges in the back, so make sure when you do it you've got a support in the back just to be safe. This particular one, this model is model number PLX-01BX. Okay, and then what happens is, here's your liquids, and this is for your solids. So as you can see, just a black plastic bucket that they have cut out here. They've melted the edges so it's nice and smooth, and then put this piece on top that is what holds the paddle in place, and it is screwed down through the lid and into the lip of the bucket. So, and then back here in the back is a little vent, and it does have a little handle to pick it up and carry it out. One thing I wanted to tell you about this is I ended up with a problem that I had not anticipated, and I had not read that it was a problem, of course, until after the fact. And that was, I ended up with fruit flies. Evidently it can be a thing, but it's my understanding they're not attracted to human waste, but they will nest in there because it is a warm, dry space, right? Or a warm, moist space. So what I ended up having to do was completely take this apart. I did have a whole video on that, but I did not back up my videos in the proper fashion, so I've lost that video. So one day I'll take this thing apart again and show you how to do that. But it's super simple. You unscrew here, take the lid off, clean it out really good. I had to bleach. I actually had to do it twice because I didn't get it all. But all underneath in this lip was just fruit fly eggs like crazy. And those suckers are on there like glue. So I have found that a little bleach and stuff like that will help keep those at bay. But anyway, and then this just slides back in. I digressed. I will address that other issue later. Slides back in, and you just drop your lid back down. So super easy. And then I just slide it back into place. Then you've got your window here, and it will let you see where your liquids are. I try to, once I get no further than back here, to go ahead and empty it. You know, if you're home a lot, that's only going to take a couple days. If it's just, it'll take a couple days if it's one of you. If there's two of you, it may take maybe every other day you have to dump it. But for me, I'm good for about 3 days before I have to dump it unless I'm gone for work quite a bit. And then I have been using cedar chips. So I just buy a container of the pet bedding for my dry waste. A lot of people use coconut coir. Coconut coir is not readily available where I am, and I would have to order it. Well, that's kind of a pain. And for $4 to $6, if I go to Tractor Supply in a small country town, even though we're not that small, a small town, there's a Walmart and a Tractor Supply or some kind of feed store or something pretty much everywhere you're going to go, particularly in East Texas, that is going to have cedar pet bedding. It works just fine. I probably could go a little longer if I was using something that was broken down a little bit smaller, but I like the smell of cedar. It is a pretty good bug deterrent. A lot of bugs don't like the smell of cedar. Clearly moths don't, not that there would be any in here. So I've been happy with the cedar. I've not had any odor problems at all, particularly from the waste end of things, solid waste. So pee sometimes can, I get a little bit more odor from that, so you dump it, rinse it, you're good. So anyway, so after you have gone to the bathroom, now one thing I did find in when I first started using this is the funnel spaces seem large enough that this shouldn't be an issue, but I did find I had to kind of be strategic about where I sat. So if it's a liquids only trip to the bathroom, I sit a little bit further forward onto the toilet, and if I'm doing the other, I sit a little bit further back. If for some reason I feel it's going to be a both, you have to just, adjust. So, sexy part of the conversation, right? Anyway, I just prop this back here. It fits nicely between the two hinges and just sits back there. Do your business. And then what I do, just to be, see, there's a fruit fly. I don't keep food scraps in the RV, so I don't know where these are coming from. Anyway, once they're in here, it's hard to get rid of them. And it's probably because I'm in a really humid, warm area. Right now, East Texas is, you can't walk through the yard even on not exude any, you're just like collecting condensation is the joke that I've said, because I'm not warranting a reason to sweat, and it's like buckets. So anyway, so that might be part of why this is happening. But anyway, so after I go to the bathroom, add another handful or so of cedar to the back or if it's just urinating, then I will take a little bit of I keep a cup next to my sink, and I'll just pour just a little water in there just to rinse it. So that's probably why I'm filling it up quicker. And then because of the fruit fly problem, I just keep a little spray bottle of bleach water, and I'll just a couple little spritzes. It's being picky. Anyway, a couple little spritzes of bleach water into the funnel area of the toilet. And then, of course, if you're doing the back, you just once you drop that top down, put the top down all the time after each use, and that will prevent any odors. I don't know why, because it's not airtight, so I don't know why it contains it, but it does help. You just put the lid down, and this just drops in. It's super easy. It's literally ABS plastic pipe. It's just an L. They've got this this handle turns, it's screwed on top, and then I'm not sure what this is, but it's got a little notch in it. And you just drop it down into that hole. It'll catch it where it's supposed to. A couple cranks. You know, give it to get good 10 solid cranks. And then I'm going to probably build something that slides this so that it can slide just right there underneath or above my toilet paper. Right now I just have it sitting on the back, but since I'm not moving, it's not falling off. It could, of course, also just slide in next to the toilet. I have my little toilet paper space here, and then right next to it is where I put, since you can't put paper in here, my toilet paper wastebasket is right next to it. Now I also, for not that I've had any odor problems with that either, I'll put a handful of cedar in there also, just to help with any extra possible fruit fly issues that I might have from that, and so far that's worked great. I do keep a plastic bag, the reusable grocery bag, or the grocery bags that we get. I keep those around because I do have a cat litter box, and I've got to order some. I haven't ordered any recyclable or compostable trash bags, but I just have a little burn pile, and I just burn the toilet paper. And if you've ever toilet papered a house when you were a kid, you know the easiest way to get that out of a tree is to light the end of it, and it just will singe. And without a big flame, it just singes and goes away. So it takes like 2 minutes to burn all of the toilet paper, and then I don't have to throw anything away. So I just do that. But so far, I've been really, really happy with this. I would do it again in my next rig if it doesn't already have a composting toilet. And so I've been happy with it. It's not too heavy to pick up. It's easy to clean. It's all hardcore plastic, so hose it out, power wash it, spray it down with some bleach and stuff. And then I'm going to also come up with do some more research on some essential oils and get there's other essential, sandalwood, lavender, that kind of stuff, and you can mix those in with some bleach water also and use that also as a scent deterrent for bugs. One thing I wanted to show you is, so I am hopefully hitting the road soon full time, and so there'll be a lot of situations where I'll be boondocking and won't have a place to dump my waste, right? So the gallon jug will fill up, and so I've got a second one. So I'll keep this with me, and if for some reason I'm not where I can dump it easily, like if I'm not in a place where I can get away from water or something like that, because technically it's just pee, so you can in most states just dump it onto the ground. But you want to make sure, just like camping, that you want to be 150 feet away from any water source, so that it doesn't flow into the water source. I know animals are, not doing that because they don't care, but we have a lot more junk in our systems than animals do, so make sure you're 100 feet away, 150 feet away from any water source. My current setup is that I'm out on 16 acres by myself. I have a burn pit that the person that I rent from had already dug, so I've just been pouring and dumping my waste stuff into there, and that is safe for me because my well that I'm using for water is about 300 feet away in the other direction. So that's not an issue. I'm not worried about it getting into my water source, right? But anyway, so on the road, I've got a second jug. I may even get another one if I need to, and you know, get cheap spring water, drink it, save the lid, and then when you need to swap out, if you're on the road, if you fill up, get one bucket to where you need to take it out so it's not sloshing, you've got a cap, put in the new one, and then when you get to your next destination where you can dump it, whether you're at a truck stop or what have you, or RV park, then you can dump it. I will probably, because I've not experienced this yet, will probably have like a bag or something that I can wrap around this so that I'm not just walking through a park or an RV, you know, a truck stop or whatever with a gallon of pee. That's gross. But then that way I can hide it and just carry it into the bathroom with me and dump it into the toilet there. So that's kind of my solution to that so far. Otherwise, I vote yes. This was about $550. You can make your own similar setup for much, much cheaper. But compared to $1,000 Nature's Head, and I think there's another one out there, Separate or something like that, but I think the Separate separates also, where the Nature's Head is combined liquids and solids, which didn't want to go that route for travel reasons. This is totally worth the money, and totally worth not spending the extra money. It doesn't look, it looks like a toilet. It's easy. If you've ever cleaned out a litter box, what's the big deal? It's just a composting toilet, right? And then I will probably anchor this down at some point, but right now it's got some weight to it, so it's not going anywhere, and I could technically just put a rubber mat like those rug things underneath it, and it's not going to slide anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So I haven't even worried about anchoring it down. You could put little latches on it and stuff and anchor it if you want to. So anyway, that's my opinion of the Sea Head composting toilet. So if you're curious, I vote yes. Go for it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video. I promise I'm going to be back to doing them regularly, even more so than I was before. If you have any questions or you want answered about anything, and then I'll be doing a tour of Mildred as she is evolving, because she has changed quite a bit since I moved in. Things I thought I wanted, I didn't want. Things I didn't think I wanted, I've wanted, so I've added, which always makes for interesting when it comes to trying to build cabinets while you live in a space. So. But I'm getting there, so I will do an updated video on how that's all looking as well. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you. Bye.